How long have you worked here, dear? I've loved reading all your stories, so I decided to share my personal story that fortunately happens to be sweeter than most here, on mobile, so I apologize for any format problems. The year was 2011, and I was working at a Chick-fil-A in my hometown. One day I wanted to look for a particular game at GameStop before my evening shift, so I put on that maroon polo and slacks combo and left my house early. It was a Saturday and fairly busy as I tore through the used section for my RPG of choice. However, not finding what I wanted, I wound up just stepping back and people watched for a while to kill the time. Enter old lady, maybe around 60 years old. She walked straight to the Wii section with a piece of paper in her hand, but in less than a minute seemed to grow concerned as she looked at her paper, then the shelves and back to the paper. A quick glance around revealed that both workers in view were busy, so I stepped forward to offer my help. Stepping just inside the edge of her vision. Me, hello, can I help you, ma'am? Al flinches for a moment before recovering. Oh yes, I can't seem to figure out which ones I should get. It turned out that she was confused by the different Just Dance games that were available, and I was happy to inform her that the only true difference was the selection of songs available. She picked the newest game, because why not, and asked if I had any suggestions for games to give an 8-year-old, for which I am fairly certain I pointed to the Mario Galaxy games. We chatted for a minute about her family, OL smiling now that she was through the minor ordeal. As she turned to go to the register, she said, "Thank you for helping me. So how long have you worked here, dear?" I tilted my head in confusion before recalling that I was wearing what could be seen as work casual clothes. "I don't work here, ma'am." I point to the CFA logo on my sleeve to emphasize my point. A blink. "Oh, I'm so sorry I took up your time. Thank you again." She gave me that shoulder squeeze that only sweet old ladies can before placing herself in line. I didn't get what I wanted, but I wound up getting what I needed. A pleasant moment to get me through yet another monotonous shift of fast food fun. Thanks for reading.
Crazy hag yells at me in front of my parents because she thought I was lazy at work. Hi, this is my first post on Reddit and English isn't my first language. So please be nice if I make spelling mistakes, please. Thank you. So for this story we need a little backstory first. I'm from a country that has a school system nothing like America. We have different types of high schools and I happen to be in school for tourism. In our school we learn how to be a waiters, waitresses, cooks, receptionists, etc. And after this high school we can, but it's not necessary to go to college as we already have experience. We have so-called practice. Teacher who is teaching us, for example, cooking will 1 year send us for 15 to 30 days to a hotel or restaurant to work there to gain experience and knowledge. 15 while we are in the school and 30 on summer break. It's not easy, but it is nice. We have to buy uniforms from school for cooks and waiters and go to practice in them. Okay, now the story. I was waitress last summer, before COVID-19, and we got our uniforms. So I went to my hometown hour away from a big city to work in a restaurant. After a month we would get paid and we could keep tips from people. So on my week of going to work, it was fantastic BTW. People were really nice except the hags who yelled at me all the time. Me, my mother, my father, and my 2 younger sisters and mine went to drink some coffee before my work, in one of many bars that was across parking lot. I already had my uniform on and my hair up and I was just sitting there laughing at my sister's joke. I saw it was already 11:50, so I told my parents I will go to work now. It was a few-minute walk, but I always get there early to help as much as I can. They said okay, and I got up from a table and started walking. And then this random lady, who I saw looking at me from a table not far, just yelled at me, "Lodi, excuse me." I turned around to see what was that, and she just marched right at me and looked me up and down. Yes, lady, I saw you sitting down with this family over there, points to my parents, and I've been waiting forever to get my order, not even busy. I was startled at first. Me, ma'am, I'm sorry I don't. Lady, don't you dare interrupt me. It's not my fault you lazy teens don't know how to work. Now take my order and I want to pay right now so I can use change to pay for my parking. I looked at my family in disbelief because I was wearing a full-on uniform for restaurant, like expensive clothes, and in my part of country people working in a bars almost always just have a black shirt with bar's name on it and jeans. Me, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I don't work here. I can't do that for you. Lady, yes, you do. Why else would you wear a uniform? My parents looked at her and confirmed what I said. She looked at them, pissed, turning bright red. Lady, well, at least give me some change in coins so I can pay for my parking. I'm sorry, what? First she yelled at me and now she wants my money, WTF. Me sorry, but I don't have any and I wouldn't give them to you anyways because I don't work here. I said that with a higher tone and I just turned around and walked to a restaurant. The look on her face when she noticed I raised my voice on her is priceless. When I left, she got back to her seat and started telling my parents how I was clearly not raised properly. Yeah, right. My aunt, who was super protective of me, told her some stuff, and my dad said she left almost crying. At least the day at work was fun, and I got some really nice tips and laughs.
Classmate mistakes me as working in the park, begins to disclose fetishes. I was studying in the park by my house this afternoon when a cute guy around my age, wearing a sweatshirt from my college, sat down directly next to me. Thought that was kind of odd, especially during a global pandemic, so kind of scooched in the other direction. But then he started talking and he was like, so, hi, I'm Jose, stuttery, and not making eye contact and everything. I thought it was so sweet that he was this nervous to talk to me, so I took the bait and said, oh, well, I'm Tamara. And he says, oh, that's a really pretty name. Never would have guessed it would be your name. There was a long, awkward pause as I tried to think what I could say in response to that. And he goes, so, how about a walk around the park? I thought that's really gutsy to ask. You know what? I kind of like that. So I said sure and packed up my books and off we went. I figured it was middle of the day, surrounded by other people. So worst case scenario, I could always ditch him if things felt shady. So we were walking and he was making more nervous small talk. I was telling him some stuff about my interests and background, asking him about his. He was like, wow, I didn't expect you to actually tell me so much about yourself. Wasn't sure how to feel about that, but all right. He's like, should I tell you a little more about me then, because it is almost 3 p.m. I figured maybe he had to go somewhere by 3 o'clock and I'd missed him mentioning it. So I was like, sure, tell me everything I should know about you. Figuring the whole experience to this point was like a fairy book or sitcom, so I should just keep rolling with it. But then he says, maybe we should have this conversation at your place. I thought asking me, a total stranger, to stop what I was doing and take a walk with him was gutsy. I thought what he just said was sleazy, at best. I kind of nervously chuckled as I looked for non-confrontational outs to the situation and said, haha, we're definitely not going to my place. He says, oh, okay, sure, fine. I didn't mean where you live necessarily. I just meant the place, wherever it is we're going. Sure, you've got something all worked out. Anyways, I can start telling you about myself now, sure. He was kind of looking around to see if other people were listening, and he goes, see, I'm really more of an us kind of guy. I have a major spanking fetish. So if you've got any short skirts or, what, I've got the non-confrontational exit. I instinctively went, stop. This conversation is over, and turned to hightail it into the nearest store. The guy is running after me going, wait, what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. He had said you were cool with kinks and stuff. I just thought, well, I'm sorry. All right, that slowed me down. I'm thinking, did he just say Ed? He stopped near me now, catching his breath, going, and I'm so sorry. And look, this may not be the best time to ask this, but am I still gonna be charged, like for the full time, even if you're leaving? So it took a second to figure out, but to make a long story short, this poor guy was experiencing a touch of pandemic loneliness. So went and hired a call girl off some personal section online. She told him she'd be there in the park wearing an identical graphic to mine, and we apparently have very similar features because she described the same height, build, hair, and eye color to mine. Once we got everything worked out, he was especially apologetic and begged me not to speak of the encounter ever again in case we know anyone in common. Going to do my best to keep that promise. So instead, I'm posting about it under the cloak of internet anonymity because, oh my God, I just had to tell someone. I definitely didn't work there, man.
Check out my other splendid videos.